Resident Evil 2 Remake. What this game is all about and is it worth playing? So this is of course a remake of the classic zombie game that some of us are old enough to know and love. This is actually a remake that's done well. So let's start talking about the atmosphere. What can you expect from the atmosphere in a classic zombie game? It's stressful, okay? Yeah, it's stressful. Zombies and all sorts of zombified monsters can jump at you wherever and whenever. Now most of them are not the fast zombies with the superpowers, those are the slow zombies, but they can still give you a good bite. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but it gets pretty intense and stressful, this game. Story-wise, it's not too sophisticated. You know, back in the days when this game was made, video games were not massive Hollywood-like productions as they are today, with huge awesome stories that are better than most movies and TV shows. Now, this game actually had a movie done based on it, but still the story is pretty basic. Lab, virus, zombies. Now, the gameplay here is interesting. The remake looks like a modern game, but the gameplay feels old school. It really feels old school, you guys. It really feels old school. It takes me back. Back in those days, video games did not have huge open worlds and tons of activities and tons of equipment to upgrade and collectibles to collect, resources, mini-games, side content, exploration. Some of that stuff existed, but it was really basic. So the games back in those days had to keep you active in different ways. You had a limited map like a building with several rooms, or a small town, or even like a country, but you can only go to a few places in that country. There was only so much the game could contain. So they really had to lean on having you collect items and figuring out how to combine these items and use them in other locations and use your logic and solve these old school quests and puzzles by running around those same locations again and again trying to figure out what you need to do. And that's how it is in this game. You're not really used to seeing that anymore. That's how the old game was made, and this is a remake. So the flow of the game is basically the same, even though the visuals are new. And that's cool, I like that, that was nostalgic. It could, however, get kind of tedious, running through the same rooms again and again and again. We're not used to that anymore. But it definitely is interesting in these days, and I would even say refreshing, even though it's old school. The difficulty of the game is nice. It's not a very easy game, it's not a very hard game. You kill the regular zombies with like 3 or 4 shots to the head, and even then they get back to life sometimes. The boss fights are nice and challenging, and one particular element that makes this game more difficult and stressful is the freaking scarcity of ammunition. You have a finite amount of ammo in this game. You go around the different rooms and whatever, and you find a few bullets here, a few bullets there. You can forge more bullets from gunpowder you find here and there, and you got some more weapons. Obviously, as you advance through the game, you gain access to more rooms and more locations where you can find some more ammo. But you probably will find yourself sometime during this game, probably more than once, with no freaking ammo and surrounded by zombies, which you will kind of have to outrun. So that's a little harsh. The puzzles, the questy puzzles are nice and pretty challenging as well. As I said, that's mostly what the game has got to keep you engaged. That is most of the game flow. You'll need to think a little, you'll need to figure out where to get certain items, how to combine them, where to use them, how to get out of certain situations, how to get into certain situations while you're being chased by zombies and monsters. Another thing that's kind of nice is that the game is actually a double game. You have 2 main characters in the game, Leon and Claire. They meet at the beginning of the game, and then they go their separate ways, and you play through the story of one of the characters, and then once you're done with the game, you can play through the story of the other character, which has the same basic elements, but they got sort of different weapons, different paths to go through. It's nice. As a general score, I would give this game like an 8.5. It's a good game, it's a challenging and engaging game, nice atmosphere, very freaking stressful, a lot to do. It can get, as I said, a little tedious running so much through the same little map. Some of the characters' text is a little dumb because, you know, as I said, back in those days, games were not exactly big Hollywood productions on the story front. But okay, whatever. It's a good remake, it's a nice game, I recommend it. If you guys have a weak heart or issues with stress, I don't recommend it. That's it, that's what I gotta say about this game. Hope you guys liked it. Like the video, share the video, comment on the video. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys later.